I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as to say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? Do you carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes. Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process on it.
I just think that's ignorant. Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I hear
very
a lot.
ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You judging somebody, you judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, "Can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are?" Are you
Love showing my ID.
You have no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, "Can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are?" Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Showing ID before you vote is no big deal. Everyone has ID, right?
Not everyone has an ID, but it's no big fucking deal.
In case you haven't noticed, the presidential election is almost here. Soon, everybody can go to the polls and cast their ballots to decide the fate of America. Well, almost everybody.
Uh-oh, so please explain to me how voting is fucking racist towards old elderly people and somehow bald eagles are racist too because it carried her away.
Since 2008, 10 states have successfully implemented strict voter ID laws that are meant to prevent voter fraud, but in reality, make it harder for a lot of people to vote.
Yeah, those things go hand in hand, you know, it makes it stricter, so it's gonna make it harder. But the whole point is, yeah, to combat voter fraud. You don't want to make it too easy, so you can commit voter fraud all easily. I mean, hello?
3 of them make you show either a photo ID, like a driver's license, or non-photo ID, like a bill with your name on it, before you can vote at the polls. The other 7 will only let you vote if you have a photo ID. So depending on where you live, what you need to do to vote in our national election can be totally different. America!
I still fail to see the fucking problem.
So why even bother having voter ID laws at all? Good old-fashioned voter suppression with a dash of racism and classism for good measure. Requiring voters to have ID seems like a harmless precaution until you realize the majority of people lacking ID are either elderly, poor, and aren't white. And frequently, they're all 3. So likely to be low income. Even when a state offers free photo ID, these residents may not be able to afford the underlying documents, transportation, or time required to get one. Many Republicans pushing for voter ID claim the laws have nothing to do with race or class.
And they fucking don't! And it doesn't cost that much to get a goddamn ID. Jesus fucking Christ, if you only need to vote, how many times a year do you fucking vote? How many times a year do you vote? Even when it comes to the lower levels. You can't save up $25 fucking dollars in California? Hey, I used to live in Arizona for a little while. It's only $8 fucking dollars. $8 fucking dollars. Like, you're just making excuses to make everything sound fucking racist as usual.
What makes racism different from prejudice? Prejudice is the individual dislike of a class of people based on a superficial characteristic or stereotype. Racism is racial prejudice plus structural oppression and power that negatively impacts a group.
No, it's fucking not. You and a bunch of dumbass motherfuckers just made that up. That is not what it fucking means. Stop trying to change the English language, goddammit.
Structural racism often exists in the form of policies or laws that may or may not seem overtly racist, but ultimately cause negative consequences for people of color. Pop quiz! What's the best way to make sure racist laws stay on the books and new rules aren't put into place? Ooh, I know! Make it really difficult for people of color to vote!
So have you thought or whatever, all you have to do is obtain said money and then go and get your voter ID and then vote. I don't know why you're trying to make this a race thing. It doesn't fucking change the situation.
The election.
Seriously, how the fuck does this chick still have a job? Her dislike to like ratio is off the fucking charts. It's like MTV thinks that they're only fucking shitting on her video because we're all racist or something like that. And they're just still like, fight the power, baby. Fight the power. You're doing so well. You're gonna fucking defeat racism one day. We believe in you. MTV fucking believes in you. Fucking music television, man. Music fucking television. And this ain't fucking news either. Dude, I'm fucking done, dude. I need a fucking drink.